You ever been put in a situation that you're looking for something because you don't remember? And there's funny times because people are on their phone and they say, hold on, I'm trying to look for my phone. I don't know where I left it. I don't know where I left it last. I've checked everywhere. And the funny thing is, it's right in our hands. We forget so easily. This is your program, Tu Voz es Mi Voz. Greetings to all and welcome back to Tu Voz es Mi Voz. This is the second message we're doing in English. So if you haven't seen the first one, take a few minutes of your time and watch it. We'll be doing this every Friday, so stay tuned. This message I want to share in Genesis chapter 21, verse 17. And it says, God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, what is the matter, Hagar? Do not be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Now, I titled this message, God Always Remembers. Because unlike us, we forget multiple times. There's not a time that we have something to do, and for that reason, we have to write it down, or we need an alarm, or we need something to remind us, because if we don't, we will forget. Be honest, you forget a lot of times. I forget a lot of times. We aren't perfect, but God always remembers. Now, I know maybe everyone's life is completely different, but there are people in this very second that are wishing to be loved, wishing they had family, wishing they had friends to be there, wishing they felt important. It's sad to say that many are killing themselves, taking their lives away for that main reason, because no one loves them. Now, the situation is almost the same that I just read using the verse. These two, Hagar and her son Ishmael, they're sent away. Abraham, his wife felt jealousy. His wife felt, now that they had their own kids, says, why do you need the kid of my slave? Let's worry about our own family. Send them out and they'll be fine. Of course, she wasn't thinking that. She didn't really care. She just wanted to make sure their family was good. And Abraham did care, but God himself confirmed to him. He said, don't worry, send them out and they'll be okay. So they're out on their own, far from home, and only with a little bit of water that they carried, they drank it all. And they were in a desert. So their survival, their percentage of surviving wasn't very much. So she had to take her child and put him in a spot because she says, I can't watch my son die. So at the point of dying, at the point of not feeling loved, at the point that they felt they weren't worth, God heard the voice of the boy. The boy started to cry. God heard his voice and he sent an angel like we just read. And the angel said, what's going on? What's happening? And this is what touches my heart, because maybe we don't feel like that, like in other people's situations, like I was telling you, that may lead them to commit suicide or may lead them to do things that aren't really or truly a solution. But there's times that we feel alone. There's times that we don't feel as important. But that's why this message is for you, because God always remembers. He doesn't forget like we forget time to time to time. He doesn't. He remembers you. He remembers your problems. He remembers what you're going through. And he hears your cry. He hears when you're when you're depressed, when you're sad, when you're in problems. So I'm telling you, using this message, God always remembers. He loved us so much that he gave his only son for us in the cross. And what is important to know is that at the cross, Jesus didn't have to die for us. He didn't. He volunteered to do it. Being God, the Bible said, comes to earth and is reincarnated as a man. Just think about that one moment. Being God, being at the top, came to the bottom to be a man and go through everything as a man, suffered as a man, felt pain like a man. All for us, so he could show his enormous love for us. In other words, you are important. If you weren't important, he wouldn't have done it. If the world, and what shocks me is the world, we don't deserve this. We don't deserve it because we don't like to think about God. We don't want nothing to do with God. We want to live our own lives and let, everything else, we see it as religion, we see it as other things. He would say, nah, that's for someone else who has time for that. We will do our own thing and etc., etc. And let me tell you, that's why we are where we are today. So I want to say, if you did not matter, Christ wouldn't have came. But he did, because he did it for you. He did it for every nation. He did it for the entire world to give us what is the salvation. So I want to tell you, if one moment you feel like no one cares about you, that you are not important, that you have no value, I want to say God says something different. You are very valuable to him. You are very important to him. He has not forgotten about you or your family or your problems or anything that's happening in your life. Maybe we forgot about God. Maybe we put a part us aside to think and give thanks to God for everything we have, but he has not forgotten about us. So this is the time to say, Lord, I am here. Let us start again. Let us start off where we stopped for a bit because I had to do this, I had to do that. God is there with his arms open, ready to start the journey with you again, because he always remembers and doesn't forget. So this is the message of this Friday. I hope someone understood it. And if you did understand it, do me a favor. Share it. Someone will be blessed because of this message. Until next time, see you next Friday.
You are his perfect creation. Now tell me if God isn't proud to remember his greatest work. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. We are Tu Voz es Mi Voz.